Hello and welcome to another update video about Ethereum. Ethereum today a little bit stronger than Bitcoin as it seems. We've seen a bit of upside here since yesterday's low, which was made at around 1770. Eventually, overall we're still moving in this range. It's not such a tight range actually. We've seen tighter ranges before, like this one here, just super boring. Normally when you're in such a tight range, the move is quite impulsive, which follows. Here it is a range. It is not tight, not too tight, but because the range is not too tight, it could be an even bigger move afterwards. Seen these things before. Because you have psychologically still, as you can see, a lot of buyers in there, but you have a lot of sellers as well. So the buyers are still very strong because it pushes the market up quite a bit whenever you hit these support areas. Yeah. So the support ranges that were defined in the beginning, they are still very, very relevant. The market adhered and followed them quite a few times. So basically, whenever the price hit so far, the support ranges here, it reversed. And I mean, if you're a range trader, you could have profited from that quite a bit, right? The thing is only that so far there is not really any upside bias here. So we're just moving and continue to move in this sideways range. The market just hasn't decided yet. It's pretty much a balance of forces that we can see there. But looking at the context reveals that we have a possible uptrend, obviously. Yeah, it's a pretty clear uptrend. The only question that the market needs to answer is how deep of a retracement does the market need? Because we can make the case for a possible impulse that started on the 10th of March, ended here on the 19th of March. And then it's all about, how do we count this correction from an Elliott Wave point of view? Trying to get a detailed count of a correction is super difficult. Because they just morph into something different. Now you need to know that about corrections, so that's why it's so difficult to count, not to count. That's as well, but to trade corrective structures, because with corrections you have many more possibilities to come up with a count, many more likely options in terms of the count compared to an impulse. So let's say here I've got a possible A wave, a B wave top, and a possible C wave down, even though it doesn't make so much sense anymore with the latest price action, but that's possible. Could take us down into this area between 1472 and 1608 before we move up. Or we had something slightly different. For example, I've got that on the chart as well, where we had an A wave, a B wave, and then a C wave here and bottomed here. And this is already a 1-2 setup. Again, here it doesn't look finished yet, but we'll take a look at that in a minute, and could start from this support area. So, there are different options. It all depends on how deep does the retracement need to be. Eventually, these are only support areas. Yeah, they're not necessarily targets to the downside, even though they were reached quite a few times now. But if the market decides it needs the deeper support, it just, that's what it is. Tactically speaking, that's why I like to keep a core position, because in case of a shallow retracement in a wave 2, it can just keep going. In case of a deep retracement, I would scale up again. So that's sort of from a tactical and strategic point of view, but your tactics can be completely different. That's fine. At the moment, just a tight range. We just need to cross above the breakout point to finally get going. And we've got here the range between basically 1850 and 1860. As a key breakout point. At the moment, the movements to the upside are only in 3 waves. That's why I'm not convinced yet that we've seen the wave 2 low here. Yeah, remember what I said. We have a possible wave 1 to the upside, a wave 2 to the downside. Surely it could have bottomed here yesterday, but I just don't see the structure yet. But we need to understand it could bottom here at any time. The question is just how many attempts do the bulls really need, right? So key support here is 1717 of this support range. I've got 1758, 1741, and 1717 as fib levels of this box within this scenario, basically, of a 1-2, from where it can start in a third wave to 2000 plus. But how many attempts does it really need, right? Problem from yesterday's low that was made, it is a 3-wave move. So you have this corrective structure, doesn't lend itself to a breakout. And when I saw that that was before the last video even, Talked about we'll probably come down a bit lower, which we then did. Yeah, didn't take out the previous low though. And the move up currently is also in 3 waves. So I thought about, okay, to give you an idea of the micro count, I mean, this could be a triangle, an Elliott wave triangle here. It's valid as long as we're holding below the C wave high, 1839. And then we could come down any minute in a C wave. Again, that would probably not necessarily take out the 1717 level, but would just lead to a lower low in the range, in the support area. But it can be a lot, you know, there's not really a point to try to waste too many brain cells on trying to figure out the subwave structure from here. But when we cannot see a 5-wave move to the upside, it's probably not a breakout yet. So I can only analyze what I see. And ideally we get back into an impulse, and then the setback, yeah, could be another entry point then. So, but yeah, I mean, we have our trend reversal areas here that can be used. And so far they worked out quite a few times, I would say. It's just how many attempts does the market really need to break out? The longer it takes, the more difficult it gets, because the momentum starts to reduce. Yeah, the upside momentum starts to reduce. If I go to the indicators, so you can see that on the daily chart, actually that's what I mean. The MACD on the daily, you can see how upside momentum started to reduce. Now we're avoiding currently a bearish crossover. Bitcoin has that bearish crossover already. Here we are avoiding it. That's actually quite, you could say, has some bullish implications, but it's not clear anymore. Yeah, so it's pretty neutral. The daily MACD, the RSI is still above 50, so that indicates an uptrend on the daily. Yeah, above 50, between 50 and 70. On the 4-hour, we're also above 50, so that would rather favor continuation to the upside. And again, you know, we're holding support and we're waiting here for a breakout. As long as we're holding 1717, I'm in favor of a breakout scenario, but it just needs to start. It's got everything it needs on this chart. It just needs to start. And again, it's likely, but it's not for sure. You know, it's not definite. So there are always only probabilities, no certainties. Crypto markets tend to go to their extremes before reversing. So it's going to be an interesting week. Today we've got some unemployment data coming out as well. Maybe that will give us some kind of an impulse or catalyst. And yeah, I mean, I'm not saying this needs to be a triangle, just pointing out here the option. Of course, if this now turns to an impulse, then, you know, support did hold and we're finally breaking out. And the forecast is for a 3rd wave breakout as long as we're holding 1717. So let's see, eventually 1850, I mean, a break above 1860 will to a really good degree confirm it. It can still be a high B wave, but then probabilities will certainly shift to a breakout. A breakout above the C wave high will already be a good start. 1839 and then 1848 and 1860. Okay, that's my update about ETH. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.